Some stars shine so brightly, even for a brief moment, that their impact lasts forever. Hollywood has seen promising young actors whose lives were tragically cut short before they even turned 30. Today, we remember those rising stars who left us too soon, but etched their names into history. First, Fatty Voss. Emerging in the early silent era, Fatty Voss was born on October 12, 1886, in Chicago, Illinois. Known for both acting and directing, he took part in comedic shorts and slapstick fare that appealed to audiences looking for lighthearted entertainment. Voss's cheerful screen presence and round physique contributed to his nickname. While details about his private life remain scarce, he regularly collaborated with studios in Los Angeles, hoping to forge a prominent place in the rapidly evolving film industry. Tragically, his life was cut short on April 22, 1917, when he died in Los Angeles at only 30. Precisely how he passed away was never fully clarified. Voss's untimely death left questions unanswered, yet fans and historians still appreciate his brief contributions to the comedic style that would define early Hollywood. 2. Lawrence Payton. Bursting onto the scene at age 18, Lawrence Payton was born in Hartford, Kentucky in 1895. His athletic frame and appealing looks secured roles in silent comedies, dramas, and westerns, starting with 1913's The Range Deadline at Nestor Film Company. Over the next few years, Payton gained notice for memorable parts, including Gaspar in Cecil B. DeMille's Joan the Woman, 1916. He also made a mark in the Buck Parvin comedy westerns produced at the American Film Company. A talented character actor with an adventurous streak, he seemed poised for a lengthy Hollywood run. However, the outbreak of World War I changed everything. Payton enlisted and was killed in action in France in late 1918, barely 23. His story ended too soon, leaving a glimmer of what might have been in silent cinema. 3. Bobby Connolly. Blessed with a bright smile, Bobby Connolly was born on April 4, 1909, in Brooklyn, New York. The son of vaudeville performers, he followed his parents' artistic footsteps into show business. At merely 3, Bobby began appearing in short films, eventually joining Vitagraph in 1913 for the popular Sonny Jim shorts. His angelic face and confident camera presence made him one of the highest-paid child actors of his time. Alongside film work, Bobby studied violin, which added depth to his on-screen roles. Unfortunately, his health faltered in 1922 when he was struck by bronchitis compounded by an enlarged heart. After months of illness, he died on July 6, 1922, at only 13. Fans mourn the loss of a talented youngster who once lit up silent cinema with genuine charm. 4. Hazel Neeson. Radiating early potential, Hazel Neeson was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, around 1895. Some sources cite 1891. She transitioned from writing to acting, searching for creative fulfillment in silent-era Hollywood. Her scripts and performances, though not always credited, caught the eye of film enthusiasts who praised her knack for comedic timing and expressive storytelling. While details of her personal life remain patchy, rumors suggest she balanced family obligations with her rising career. Tragically, Neeson's trajectory ended suddenly on October 11, 1918. Other sources mention 1920, a date that coincided with the deadly 1918 influenza pandemic. It remains uncertain if influenza was indeed the cause, but she was just in her early 20s. Hazel's untimely departure robbed silent cinema of a budding talent who showed promise both on and off the screen. 5. Clifford Bruce. Showcasing rugged versatility, Clifford Bruce was born in Toronto, Canada, in 1885. Possessing a strong physique and a flair for action, he appeared in numerous early American dramas, westerns, and adventure serials. From 1913 onward, Bruce found consistent work with leading studios, Selig, Fox, and Metro, standing out in roles requiring bravery or physical prowess. Notably, he played a gypsy leader in the 1914 Pearl White serial The Perils of Pauline and portrayed a supporting friend role in Theda Bara's A Fool There Was, 1915. Despite gaining a loyal following, Bruce's promising ascent was cut short. He died on August 27, 1919, in New York at age 34. Specifics surrounding his passing remain uncertain. Admirers still recognize his contribution to the action-packed silent years, remembering him as a stalwart of episodic cliffhangers. Sixth, Lucille Rickson. Already modeling at age 5, Lucille Rickson was born on August 22, 1910, in Chicago. She moved to Hollywood in 1920 alongside her mother, seizing the opportunities offered by silent films. Despite being barely 10, she secured roles in short subjects for producer Samuel Goldwyn. Publicists exaggerated her age to land more mature parts, billing her as a leading lady by 13. In 1924 alone, she made 10 films, including Vanity's Price, impressing directors with her sophistication. However, excessive work schedules and constant demands took a toll, and Lucille fell gravely ill from tuberculosis. Confined to bed, she lost her mother, who died of a heart attack while caring for her. A few weeks later, on March 13, 1925, Lucille passed away at just 14. Rumors also circulated about a botched abortion, but the official cause was tuberculosis. 7. Billy "Froggy" Laughlin. Sporting a distinctive gravelly voice, Billy Laughlin, nicknamed Froggy, was born on July 5, 1932. He joined MGM's Our Gang Shorts after a scout noticed his unusual vocal tone, portraying a bespectacled youngster with earnest comedic timing. Off-screen, Billy was a normal teen who enjoyed bike riding and typical school experiences. When the series ended, he briefly explored feature films but chose to focus on school life. Tragedy struck in August 1948. Riding on a motorized scooter with a friend, the driver attempted a sudden U-turn, crashing into an oncoming truck. Billy sustained critical injuries and died at a hospital hours later, just 16. His untimely death shook fans who remembered him as the squeaky-voiced kid whose wide-eyed innocence and comedic one-liners charmed audiences during the final years of Our Gang. 8th, Alessandro Momo. Revered as one of Italy's promising young actors, Alessandro Momo was born on November 26, 1956. He started acting in soap operas as a child, then transitioned to film in teenage years. Momo found wide recognition for his daring and controversial roles, such as in the provocative drama Malicious alongside Laura Antonelli. Undaunted by taboo themes, his natural screen presence suggested a bright future. Fate intervened when director Dino Risi cast him in Scent of a Woman, 1974, pairing him with Vittorio Gassman. Soon after the film wrapped, the 17-year-old was involved in a fatal motorcycle accident. The powerful bike had been gifted to him, but he was too young under Italian law to legally operate it. The tragedy robbed Italian cinema of a fresh talent whose star was rising fast. 9th, Anissa Jones. Remembered as bubbly Buffy Davis on the sitcom Family Affair, Anissa Jones was born on March 11, 1958, in West Lafayette, Indiana. Early on, her father's job moved the family to California, where she snagged the iconic role at age 8. Buffy became a beloved television character, but life after the show proved challenging. Once Family Affair ended in 1971, Anissa tried to find new parts, only to face rejection and career stagnation. By her teens, she was struggling with personal demons and drifting away from Hollywood. On August 28, 1976, she died at 18 from a deadly mix of drugs, cocaine, PCP, Quaaludes, and Seconal, while at a friend's house in Oceanside, California. Her sudden death was another stark reminder of child stardom's pressures and the destructive pitfalls lurking behind fame. 10th, Dorothy Dell. Stepping into the limelight as a small-town pageant winner, Dorothy Dell was born Dorothy Goff on January 30, 1915, in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. She spent time in New Orleans before moving to New York to pursue vaudeville, capturing attention with her sultry vocals and comedic flair. By 1931, she joined the Ziegfeld Follies, where her song Was I Drunk caught Hollywood's ear. In 1934, Paramount Pictures showcased her in roles that hinted at a radiant future. Yet after attending an all-night party on June 8, 1934, Dorothy set off with her companion in a car bound for Pasadena. The vehicle veered off the road, collided with a telephone pole and a tree, leaving Dorothy dead at 19. The studio and public mourned a gifted star whose lively performances were abruptly extinguished. Elfte Jr. Durkin. Embodying wholesome appeal, Junior Durkin was born Trent Bernard Durkin on July 2, 1915, in Atlantic City, New Jersey. He started acting in stage productions at a very young age, often appearing alongside his mother and siblings. Hollywood noticed his natural talent, and he swiftly landed roles in the 1930s, forging a friendship with child star Jackie Coogan. Notably, Durkin portrayed Huckleberry Finn opposite Coogan's Tom Sawyer in beloved Mark Twain adaptations. Though his gentle smile and earnest demeanor impressed many, Junior's budding success was heartbreakingly short-lived. In May 1935, he joined Jackie Coogan on a road trip, only for their car to lose control and flip repeatedly. Durkin was thrown from the vehicle, sustaining fatal injuries. Fans and colleagues grieved the 19-year-old's tragic end, lamenting a major loss in rising Hollywood youth. Lillian Drew. Brilliant on stage and screen, Lillian Drew was born in Chicago in 1882. Some sources differ. She excelled as a musical comedy star, often sharing the spotlight with her husband, E.H. Calvert. Her captivating stage presence and luminous brunette beauty soon attracted the S&A Film Company, where she blossomed into a revered silent film performer. Nickname: Lily of the S&A, she amassed over 90 credits, delighting audiences in comedic and dramatic roles. In 1920, Lillian suffered a nervous breakdown, signaling a fragile shift in her health. Later, she endured a car crash in the emotional turmoil of a marital split. On April 6, 1924, she tragically died in Chicago at 41. Some records say 38, from an overdose of Veronal. Though ultimately ruled accidental, her death ended a vibrant career far too early. 13. Bobby Weezer Hutchins. Beloved by our gang fans, Robert E. Bobby Hutchins, nicknamed Weezer, was born on March 29, 1925, in Tacoma, Washington. His boundless energy on set and sweet grin made him an immediate favorite among child actors in Hal Roach's comedic shorts. Though overshadowed by bigger personalities like Spanky and Alfalfa, Weezer captured hearts with his eagerness and feisty comedic timing. When his contract ended in 1933, he shifted away from entertainment to focus on school and a normal childhood. Growing older, Hutchins found a new passion in aviation, eventually training as an air cadet during World War II. Tragically, on May 17, 1945, Hutchins lost his life after a mid-air collision in Merced, California. Only 20 at the time, his passing resonated deeply with fans who fondly remembered the boy whose laughter once lit up the silver screen. 14. Dorothy Stratton. Radiantly beautiful, Dorothy Ruth Hoog Stratton, later Stratton, was born on February 28, 1960, in Vancouver, Canada. Eager for fresh opportunities, she posed for Playboy's 25th anniversary Playmate search in 1978, becoming Playmate of the Year in 1980. Hollywood soon beckoned, offering small parts in films like Galaxina, and they all laughed. Married young to Paul Snider, Dorothy found her life entangled in his controlling grip. Their relationship soured as she grew closer to director Peter Bogdanovich. On August 14, 1980, Dorothy visited Snider at their former home to discuss financial and marital matters. In a horrifying turn, Snider murdered Dorothy and then turned the gun on himself. She was just 20. Dorothy's shocking death continues to serve as a tragic cautionary tale of fame, manipulation, and obsession beneath Hollywood's glamorous veneer. 15. Veda Bertram. Invited to Hollywood by Bronco Billy Anderson himself, Veda Bertram was born Adele Buck on December 4, 1891, to an influential Boston family. Initially, her parents disapproved, but she adopted Veda Bertram to protect their privacy. In 1912, she joined Anderson's S&A Westerns as a recurring female lead, debuting in The Ranch Girl's Mistake. Audiences swiftly embraced her as Bronco Billy's on-screen sweetheart, praising her expressive performances. She seemed destined for major stardom, credited in over 24 short films in about a year. Tragically, in August 1912, Veda was hospitalized with severe abdominal pain and died of acute appendicitis at only 20. Her stunned parents, who never realized how loved she'd become, discovered her silent cinema fame only after her untimely passing. Her memory endures as an early Western ingenue lost too soon. 16. Dee Lambton. Pudgy and lighthearted, Dee Lambton was born on October 6, 1898, in Fort Worth, Texas. Launching his career with Hal Roach's comedy shorts, Lambton became a familiar face alongside comedic icons. Known for his broad grin and ample size, he specialized in playful, sometimes bumbling characters who inevitably triggered slapstick chaos. Despite limited documentation of his personal life, his ability to steal scenes in short subjects is well attested. Many of his films remain tough to locate, making him an obscure gem among silent comedy enthusiasts. Regrettably, he died on September 2, 1919 in Los Angeles, at just 20, from reported health complications, possibly related to his weight or an illness that's never been confirmed. Dee Lambton's cheerful persona left behind a fleeting yet memorable stamp on early American comedy. 17th, Trent Lehman. Best known for playing Danny Holvac on the sitcom Nanny and the Professor, Trent Lehman entered the world on February 23, 1961, in Los Angeles County. Though a child performer, he dealt with the pressures of show business early on, which can be tough for any young star. While his co-stars found new opportunities, Trent struggled to maintain steady roles after the series ended in 1971. Life outside the limelight became complicated as he aged, and mounting personal issues fueled a quiet despair. On January 18, 1982, in Pacoima, California, 20-year-old Trent took his own life by hanging himself near an elementary school playground. His shocking suicide laid bare the hidden pain behind youthful fame. Even decades later, fans recall him as a talented child star whose struggles sadly went unheard. Diane Ellis. Glowing with promise, Diane Ellis, born Jean Diane Ellis on December 20, 1909, spent her childhood in Los Angeles. She entered Hollywood as a secretary at the Film Research Bureau, only to be discovered by a director who recognized her star potential. Adopting variations of her name, she secured bit parts in comedic fare such as Is That So? And more substantial roles in Happiness Ahead and The Leatherneck. Critics lauded her for a sweet, understated acting style. When Pathé Studios chose not to renew her contract, Diane turned to Broadway, shining in the 9:15 Review. In 1930, newly married and globetrotting, she contracted an infection in Madras, India. Despite surgery, she died on December 15, 1930, just shy of her 21st birthday. Gone too soon, Diane left behind glimpses of a star blossoming. 19th, Susan Ball. Radiating warmth and talent, Susan Ball was born on February 3, 1934, in Jamestown, New York. A second cousin to the legendary Lucille Ball, she moved to Los Angeles where her singing caught local attention. After a brief cameo in Rhythm Parade, Universal International discovered her. She was touted as a new Cinderella of Hollywood in the early 1950s, highlighted by roles in Chief Crazy Horse and War Arrow. During filming of a dance scene, she injured her leg. Doctors discovered malignant tumors, forcing an amputation in January 1954. Despite the setback, she married actor Richard Long that April, determined to fight. Sadly, cancer soon spread to her lungs, and she died on August 5, 1955, at just 21. Susan's enduring courage in the face of tragedy remains a powerful story of resilience. 20th, Florence Barker. Stepping into silent cinema at its dawn, Florence Barker was born on November 22, 1891, in Los Angeles. She jumped from local stage work into film roles directed by D.W. Griffith, gracing one- and two-reelers that required versatile, expressive talents. Between 1908 and 1912, her career soared, including appearances in comedies and dramas, sometimes working with Mary Pickford. Her bright potential led her to explore European film opportunities, briefly becoming an international presence. While visiting her mother in early 1913, Florence contracted pneumonia. Despite medical intervention, she succumbed on February 15, 1913, at just 21. Her passing shocked fans who saw her as a rising force in the industry's infancy. Though so many of her films are lost, historians still recognize Florence Barker's significance in shaping cinema's formative years. 21st, Clarine Seymour. Exuding vivacity, Clarine Seymour was born on December 9, 1898, in Brooklyn, New York. She entered film out of necessity when her father's business collapsed, quickly making a splash in comedic shorts and serials. Paramount recognized her appeal, but it was director D.W. Griffith who showcased her star quality in The Girl Who Stayed at Home, 1919, and True Heart Susie, 1919, alongside Lillian Gish. Critics and audiences praised Seymour's effervescent charm, anticipating a brilliant future. While filming Way Down East in 1920, she abruptly fell ill with intense abdominal pain. An operation followed, but complications set in, and she died on April 25, 1920, at only 21. Her untimely death devastated Griffith's production team and robbed silent film of a promising actress whose grace could have soared further. 22nd, Matthew Garber. Fondly remembered for his Disney roles, Matthew Adam Garber was born on March 25, 1956, in Stepney, London. Actor Roy DeTrace introduced him to the Disney casting department, captivated by Garber's cute, mischievous qualities. In 1963, he made his screen debut in The Three Lives of Thomasina, forging a delightful on-screen friendship with Karen DeTrace. Walt Disney then cast him as young Michael Banks in the 1964 classic Mary Poppins, for which he is best known. A final role in The Gnome Mobile, 1967, completed his brief filmography. After returning to England and finishing school, Garber visited India in 1976, where he contracted hepatitis. The illness worsened into hemorrhagic pancreatitis, and he died on June 13, 1977, just 21. Fans still treasure his wide-eyed wonder in the beloved Disney favorites of childhood. 23rd, Norman Chubby Chaney. Lovable and round-cheeked, Norman Chubby Chaney was born on October 18, 1914, in Baltimore, Maryland. He joined Hal Roach's iconic Our Gang series in 1929, quickly capturing hearts with his gentle spirit and comedic innocence. Nicknamed Chubby, he played the chubby friend eager to help, famously pairing with Jackie Cooper or Farina in comedic setups. Off-screen, Chaney battled a glandular condition which caused his weight to fluctuate dramatically. When he outgrew Our Gang, he returned home to focus on health and schooling. Tragically, medical interventions at the time couldn't correct his underlying ailment, and his health steadily declined. On May 29, 1936, Norman died at 21, leaving behind grieving fans and little financial means for proper burial. Today, dedicated admirers celebrate his memory, raising funds so his grave can be suitably marked 24th Freddie Prinze. Laughing his way to fame, Freddie Prinze was born Frederick Carl Prutzel on June 22, 1954, in New York City. A Puerto Rican and German descent, he faced childhood bullying, yet found solace in comedy. Dropping out of LaGuardia High School to perform stand-up full-time, he quickly soared, becoming a regular on The Tonight Show. In 1974, NBC cast him as Chico Rodriguez in Chico and the Man, a groundbreaking sitcom exploring cultural issues. Success brought him wealth and celebrity status, but he secretly battled depression and drug use. His marriage faltered, and he was arrested for DUI in 1976. In January 1977, despair overwhelmed him. Over the phone, he threatened to end his life, then shot himself. Freddie Prinze died 2 days later at only 22, leaving behind heartbreak in a young son, Freddie Prinze Jr. 25th, Evelyn Nelson. Gaining traction in comedic and Western roles, Evelyn Nelson was born on November 13, 1899, in Chloride, Arizona. Her father was a cattle owner, and she traveled to Los Angeles with hopes of film stardom. Vitagraph recognized her charm, pairing her with Oliver Hardy in short comedies such as The Decorator. She also starred opposite Jack Hoxsey in westerns like Cyclone Bliss, 1921. Nelson's personal life turned turbulent when she became involved in a passionate affair with actor Wallace Reed, who ended their relationship to protect his career. Deeply distressed by Reed's passing in early 1923, Evelyn grew despondent. On June 16, 1923, she took her own life by inhaling gas, leaving 2 notes expressing weariness and yearning to reunite with Wally. She was only 23, her grief a sad footnote to Hollywood's golden illusions. 26. Jimmy Butler. Starting life in Akron, Ohio, Jimmy Butler was born on February 20th, 1921. Charismatic and boyishly appealing, he transitioned from local theater to bigger opportunities in Hollywood. Butler was featured in minor film roles but displayed enough skill to hint at a bright future. As the 1940s progressed and World War II raged on, like many young Americans, he joined the armed forces. He continued to harbor dreams of post-war stardom, believing he could resume an acting career after fulfilling his duty. Tragically, on February 18th, 1945, Butler was killed in action near Téding, Moselle, France, just 2 days shy of his 24th birthday. His sacrifice reminds us that countless bright hopefuls left Hollywood stages to fight for their country, some never returning to the spotlight they had once claimed. 27th, Martha Mansfield. Captivating in every frame, Martha Mansfield was born on July 14th, 1899. She found early success in stage musicals before transitioning to silent films. Roles in pictures like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, 1920, cemented her place among rising stars. In 1923, Fox Studios cast her in The Warrens of Virginia, anticipating another triumph. Off-camera, Mansfield was known for her refined elegance and warm demeanor. However, fate intervened on November 30th, 1923. After shooting a scene, a careless match ignited her elaborate period costume. Despite co-star Wilfrid Lytell's attempts to extinguish the flames, she suffered catastrophic burns. Rushed to a hospital, the 24-year-old actress succumbed the following day. This devastating on-set tragedy underscored the film industry's urgent need for improved safety measures on location and in wardrobe. 28th, Peg Entwistle. Hailed on Broadway for her commanding stage presence, Peg Entwistle was born on February 5th, 1908, in Port Talbot, Wales. Some sources conflict. She moved to the U.S. as a child, eventually shining in New York Theatre Guild productions like Tommy. Despite critical acclaim, film success proved elusive. In 1932, RKO gave her a small role in 13 Women, starring Irene Dunne and Myrna Loy. Depressed over her stalled career, and with funds running out, she walked to the giant Hollywoodland sign on September 16th, 1932. Climbing a workman's ladder, she leapt to her death. She was discovered days later, leaving behind a haunting suicide note. "I am afraid, I am a coward." Peg's demise at 24 remains one of Hollywood's most tragic stories, symbolic of showbiz dreams turned heartbreak. 29th, Judy Tyler. Sparking curiosity at a young age, Judy Tyler was born on October 9th, 1932. With a father who played trumpet for big bands and a mother once in the Ziegfeld Follies, show business ran in her blood. By 17, Judy had become Princess Summerfall Winterspring on the kids' program Howdy Doody. Her vibrant personality extended to Broadway, where a Life magazine feature helped land her roles in musicals. Hollywood soon beckoned, casting her opposite Elvis Presley in Jailhouse Rock, 1957, poised to catapult her into stardom. Sadly, just days after filming Wrapped, Judy and her husband, Greg Lafayette, were in a car crash on July 3rd, 1957. She died instantly at 24. Fans grieved the abrupt loss of an actress widely believed to be on the threshold of major success. Tredio James Dean. Embodied forever as America's rebel, James Byron Dean was born on February 8, 1931, in Marion, Indiana. After his mother's death, he grew up on a farm, developing a fondness for art and sports. Dean's electrifying presence reached Broadway before catapulting him to film, capturing attention in East of Eden, 1955. Yet it was his iconic portrayal of Jim Stark in Rebel Without a Cause that branded him a cultural phenomenon. While wrapping up Giant, 1956, Dean indulged his passion for auto racing. On September 30th, 1955, driving his Porsche Spyder to a race in Salinas, he collided with another car near Cholem, California. The 24-year-old died almost instantly from a broken neck. His tragic end sealed James Dean's legacy as a mythic figure of youthful angst and Hollywood legend. 31st, John Charlesworth. Exuding an understated charm, John Charlesworth was born on November 12, 1935, in Hull, England. He ventured into acting during Britain's post-war period, securing roles in notable homegrown productions and BBC dramas. Despite not becoming a household name, Charlesworth's earnest performances garnered positive notices among critics. Beyond the set, he was reportedly a reflective person who sought more fulfilling acting prospects. Just as it seemed his career might gain further traction, tragedy struck. On April 2, 1960, Charlesworth died unexpectedly in Birmingham at only 24. Circumstances around his passing remain largely undocumented, fueling speculation it may have involved a personal crisis or accident. Though overshadowed by bigger British stars of the era, John Charlesworth's brief filmography continues to intrigue viewers looking back at the emerging talent of 1950s UK cinema. 32nd Milos Milos. Emigrating from Yugoslavia, Milos Milos was born on July 1, 1941, in Jasevac, then part of Serbia. Handsome and rugged, he arrived in the U.S. seeking a Hollywood break. He managed small roles in films like Incubus, uncredited, and gained slight recognition for his exotic persona. Off-screen, Milos developed relationships in prominent social circles, increasing his notoriety. Yet tensions soon soared, culminating in a tragedy that shook fans. On January 30, 1966, Los Angeles police discovered Milos dead in a suspected murder-suicide involving the estranged wife of comedian Mickey Rooney, Barbara Ann Thomason. Both were found shot in Rooney's house. The swirling rumors of passion, jealousy, and betrayal overshadowed any further career potential. Milos Milos was just 24, the victim of a shocking scandal that underscored Hollywood's sometimes desperate, destructive side.